So we were about to get into a very exciting chapter on our '69 Firebird Routy project, and it's the final paint and clear. Now, one of the things that we did in the past was to paint the panels in red with the car disassembled so we could get both sides covered and the jams and all that stuff. And now it's time to put everything back together to do the final clear and color so that everything matches from panel to panel. And the first step is to install the glass. And we've mentioned the flush glass on this car before because we did some body work to accommodate it. But now it was time to actually put the glass in for its final install. And this is a flush glass kit we got from Classic Auto Glass Innovations. It's a windshield and a back glass. Very nice high quality stuff. It's actually oversized just a hair so that it fits tighter in the hole. The rear glass has a slight tint to it, I think about a 15%. And the windshield has a sunscreen tint along the top, a sunshade, I guess. And then the perimeter has a new style matrix pattern screened onto it so that you don't see through the edge of the glass, you know, to see any bodywork or the car. The windshield has an antenna that is molded into the glass, which is a real nice feature because we had previously filled our antenna hole on the fender. So it's got a snap type connector, so if you have a stereo in the car, you can still use the antenna, but it's hidden in the windshield. The glass comes as a very complete kit because it includes the adhesive that the installer is going to use to glue the glass to the car. It also comes with some foam, adhesive-backed foam tape that acts like a dam to keep the glue from coming into the cabin a little bit. And it installs just like any other late model windshield or rear glass. The only thing you got to be careful of is making sure that the glue adhesive that you use is built up high enough so that the glass literally fits flush with the outside surfaces of the car. You don't want it to sink down below that level because they supply trim that presses in place, and if that glass is not set flush, the trim won't sit right. So it's important to get that trim to sit properly. With the glass in place, it was time to install the rest of the body panels, the rear deck lid, and then the doors and the front sheet metal. And we had previously spent a bunch of time aligning all these panels, and we had the hinges marked and little reference points here and there, and the shims counted so that this stuff would install fairly quickly because we wanted to make sure that all the sheet metal was on the car except for some of the small pieces like the side mirrors and the rear spoiler, so that when we took this thing to the paint booth, the color would match uniformly all the way across the car. So once we got the fenders and the hood and everything on that we needed to install, Nathan had the task of wet sanding those initial base coats of red to prepare them to accept additional coats of paint.
Nathan started with 1000 grit sandpaper, then went to 1500, and finally finished with a gray fine Scotch-Brite pad.
Once the car was wet sanded and cleaned and ready for paint, we started the masking process in our shop. All the windows and door openings and areas that were not going to get painted got masked with 3M green tape. And then to do the final color and clear, we use a booth that is off-site, so we had to load the car into the trailer and take it to the actual spray booth. And this was a lot of work kind of jammed into a short period of time, so it took its toll on the crew, as you can tell by Nathan grabbing a cat nap wherever he could.